Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're looking for something a little unusual in your garden, you might want to give these a try. These are rat's tail radish, and this is the first year we've grown them. As you can see, they get these pods on them rather than an actual radish bulb. But what's really cool about these plants is these little pods that look like a rat's tail. That's where they get their name. I guess it looks like a rat's tail. They have a really nice peppery radish flavor, but they're a lot more mild than to your typical radishes. You see they also get these beautiful flowers. They're like a purplish white with a yellow center. The bees love them. So they're a fantastic plant to grow in your garden because they really don't take any care. I mean, I've had these planted, I think, for maybe 45 days, and they're just absolutely loaded with these pods. So the rat's tail radish, it's native to Southeast Asia. It's one that you start to see here and there if you look around a little bit online. As I mentioned, I got these from Baker Creek, and when I saw them in the catalog this year, I just thought they were the coolest thing and had to give them a try. Wasn't sure what to expect, but I'll tell you what, they grow really, really well. They're vigorous. They don't seem to require any particular care. You just, like most radishes, you plant them and they grow fairly quickly and pretty vigorously to kind of take over the area. But you just get a profusion of these pods. I mean, they're absolutely everywhere. So I just like to snip them off and eat them when I'm in the garden, but we also use them in salads, as I'll show a little bit later in the video. They're a fantastic addition to tossed salad, to relishes, to sandwiches, really anything you'd use a regular radish for, but these tend to be a little bit milder. I'll also mention in a second you're going to see some larger versions of these. So they start off small, but just like green beans, they very quickly get large. So here are some when they get bigger, and as you can see here, that thing's probably a good 8 inches long. What's really funny about them is the really fat part I find not to be really woody, but the little thin part at the end toward the outside is the woody part, which you think it'd be the other way around. It seems kind of backwards, but that's what I find with them. When they're this big, they're not as pleasant to eat. They have like a little bit more of a seed inside of them. They're crunchy, but they're also a lot spicier when they're larger. They're still very edible though, but I think I prefer them when they're kind of on the smaller side. But you know, as you can see, you'll have plenty of them so that you can experiment. Some of them, when they get really big, they look just like a green bean. It's kind of amazing. They even kind of, the seeds inside them get big and they look like an oversized green bean that's been let go too long. But the rat's tail radish, you know, it's something, like I said, that if you plant it, it seems to just keep going and going. It's pushing out more and more flowers. One of the advantages of these over traditional radishes, I suppose, is that the season seems to be all summer long from everything I've read. I've been picking them and I can't keep up with the things. There's so many. So they're certainly productive. I think I have them in this one row. I seeded them very thickly, so I didn't thin them out or anything. I just put a whole bunch of seeds in a row. I think the row is like 3 feet long that they're in. So there's 3 feet of radish seed, and that produces more than you could possibly eat. So they're kind of a cool plant, though. I mean, they look neat. They've got these pods on them, so they're a curiosity. But they're also delicious, and that's really number one in your garden. You want to make sure the stuff that you're growing is something that you're going to use and enjoy. You can see when they get a little bit more mature, they turn less sort of reddish and more green. But they're still very usable, like I mentioned. You could put them in stir fries, you can put them in salads, you can just eat them. But be prepared, because I pick handfuls of these every single day, and there's just more and more flowers and more pods. So that's exactly what you want in a garden plant. You know, something that's happy, healthy, wants to grow, and just wants to give you a ton of harvest. And that certainly describes these. This one's going through the rabbit fencing in the garden. So we'll have to get that later. Here's what I like to do with them. Just sort of chop them up, throw them in a tossed salad for lunch or something like that. They're absolutely perfect. They mix in. They give you a nice little punch of spice, just like a regular radish. But they're just something that's really fun and unusual and cool for the garden. So thank you for watching. I hope that you give the rat's tail radish a try. This is definitely one. I wasn't sure when I planted it. I'm like, I don't know what I'll think of this, but I'll tell you, it's certainly earned a permanent position in our garden, and I think if you try it, you'll probably enjoy it as well.